Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Sagittariuses. This is going to be your May 2025 reading. This will be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or you can have a mixture. Um, Many of you are intuitively guided to readings, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition. As many of you know, I do read through our spirit guides, like my spirit guides connect to yours. What I call these readings are soul to soul because we know each other's souls. Um, so, a soul to soul reading for you today. It feels kind of special. And I don't even know why yet. I just have this feeling. Um, some of you could certainly be in love with a Sagittarius, whether platonically, romantically, same thing. Remember, you'll get messages. Your guides know you're here, and they're going to use whatever means possible to get a message to you. Um, okay, so let's start by reading. So I bought a new deck that I've been using for the month of May. It's called Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And with it, I got a free calendar. So every day there's a message, and I'm saving them. So we'll use them later, but let's read what yours says for today. I am glad to be alive and grateful for the good that is coming my way. Ah, I'm glad to be alive and grateful for the good that's coming my way. That reminds me of like the Three of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, the Three of Wands, where you're really in the present moment energy and you're just trusting in divine, knowing that divine will bring in your blessings in divine timing, right when they're meant to come in. Um, and I know a lot of you have been like really doing a lot of soul searching and working on yourselves, increasing your own vibration. And that can only bring good things back. I'm not going to say something not so good can't come back, but you'll see it, you'll know it. Like you'll be able to pinpoint it in a second. So it's a difference, it's a big difference when we raise our own vibration. It's like the truth is just revealed, period. Okay, so anyways, I real quick want to also there's just a couple messages. I am taking a summer break from doing personal readings, private readings. I'll still be active on YouTube, still be doing my podcast, but personal readings, I give everything. So they can really zap my energy. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love doing them. But it's important that I take a break here and there. So I decided, I probably won't take the whole summer off, but part of the summer, only for personal readings. I'll still be active everywhere else. And I also want to let you know about a membership program, which probably a lot of you have heard me speak about already. But it's called Level 2. And this is where we will go live together. And you can just ask me whatever questions you want. They're really like mini personal readings. And we'll do it on a weekly basis. So, and I really get to know you. Like, I had this membership program before, and then my channel got hacked. But, like, I want to know your life path, your personal year number, your signs, like your sun, your moon, your rising, if you know it. Like I like having all this information so when we do these readings, they can be very clear to you. And you know that they're tailored right for you. So, anyways, that's in level 2. Um, and by the way, you can cancel at any time. So, I only want you to do it if you want to do it. But once we get a total of 4, we're going to go ahead and start going live. We already have quite a few in level 1, but it's level 2 where we're going to go live. Level 1 is just like a simple thank you, Sandy donation type thing. But anyway, so I wanted to let you know that I I feel like, don't hold me to this, but I may go live this weekend and leave it open for everyone. I have one who has joined this level 2 membership program, so she can ask whatever she wants. Um, it is a she. Um, you know what I mean? Because she is the member, but I just feel like I want to let you know what I'm talking about when we go live, like what it's like. Anyways, okay, enough of that. So, Sagittarius, we're going to use quite a few different decks. We will give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. We will use the major arcanas. I use these really for like bullet points in your reading, but I just feel like they bring so much value. And again, your main spread will be the guardian angel messages. Yeah, guardian angel messages tarot. I don't know why. That's like a mouthful. All right, got my little mull of the day. Put that right there, and let's go ahead and open up your reading. I could bring the lid down. There we go. I put my Stiller shirt on today because of the draft. All right, let's give him a cut. By the way, anyone who's new, welcome. First of all, welcome to our beautiful soul family. But I want to let you know that I always pre-shuffle all the decks. Um, if I even think I'm going to use them, then I will pre-shuffle them because there's a couple of decks that we're probably going to bring in. But anyway, back to Mother Mary. Mother Mary, messages for Sagittarius, those intuitively guided. What is it they need to hear today? What words of wisdom do you have? Tenderness. Try a little tenderness. I am both gentle and powerful. Well, yes, you are. Gentle and powerful. It reminds me of the Empress's energy. That's exactly what she is. She's gentle, she's loving, she's nurturing. Whoa. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Um, but she's also very powerful. You know why she's so powerful? Because she truly trusts her intuition. She knows her intuition will, lead her in the right direction. She also pays attention to the signs like no other. She knows that the signs are really, like, I don't know, in a way, the secret to life. The signs will guide you home. Interesting. Signs will guide you home. I feel like for someone, that's a message. Hmm. Okay, let's bring in the major arcanas. Not a lot to shuffle there. Okay. All right. Let's begin. Well, hello, magician, manifester, the fool's greatest mentor. The magician is a reminder of your ability to manifest. This is what the magician teaches the fool, like you already possess. I don't know why my screen's gone dark. You already possess everything that you need to be successful on this next journey. It feels like something new is opening up, and your ability Maybe this is something you've been trying to manifest. We have the Chariot. I feel like there's someone's like, there's a message about you going home, but it's not because you need to. If you are, it's because it's what you want. Because it feels like the Chariot is like the vehicle that takes you to your next stop, your next journey. We have the Strength card, card of Leo. By the way, Chariot is card of Cancer. Neighbors. Well, there's the Empress. Beautiful. And then with the Empress is Judgment, which is your spiritual team. Judgment always is calling you to the present moment. When you see Judgment in a reading, know that there's signs to follow. This is what Judgment's all about. And how do I love that it's sitting right next to the Empress who will pick up on these signs? Not only will she pick up on these signs, but her using the Magician's energy, the Chariot's unlimited potential. And you take the Empress who's listening to these divine signs and manifesting out of that energy. Wow, there's nowhere she can't take this next adventure, she or he. It's interesting, the Strength card's right in the middle. So Strength card is really about one going within, one knowing their own inner beast, the things that I need to tame within myself. But not in a judgmental type of way. It's just like, what needs tamed? She's got the infinity sign as goggles, as above, so below. No beginning, no end. Well, your spiritual team, literally calling you to the present moment. It makes me feel like, because we're in the year of the Hermit, that final year of the 9-year cycle, that then moves us into the year of the Magician. Well, it feels like you have the ability to move into the energy of the Magician already. So, I've been saying this for a while, like, just because we're in the year of the Magician, we do want to take it serious, because this is like that final push of how do we want our lives to look for the next 9 years? What's been serving me? What's not been serving me? What holds me back? What holds me down? And how can I free myself? This is what I feel like you're figuring out in the Strength card. The Empress is very truthful with herself. Just because she's the Empress doesn't mean that she hasn't been through it. She has been through it. That's what makes her the Empress. That's what makes her wise. That's why she trusts her intuition. Right? I've been there, but I've overcome. Now, it could have taken her a while, but she has overcome. And it also being a 3, it's reminding me of present moment energy. So I feel like the Empress, which is you're receiving signs like right now, and the ability to then manifest. Well, if it's coming from the Empress's energy, think about that. Creativity, abundance, love, whatever the Empress wants, she knows that she can manifest it. Okay, it feels powerful. Powerful, but it does take the Empress's energy or action, let's say, right? Because Judgment will send the signs, and then it's up to us to pick up on those signs. I don't know why my screen's going so dark. I don't like that. Let me just fix something real quick. All right, I want to see if that makes it any lighter. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the let's put the Molodite right on the strength card. All right, let's start your main spread. And we'll know why everything is out. But remember what Mother Mary said. She's calling for a little tenderness. Well, there's got to be a reason. Also, I feel like Mother Mary is just reminding you that you are this powerful being. Um, you're much more than just this human body. You're using the human body as your vehicle to create. Okay. We have, well, hello, victory and success. Six of Wands, success, recognition, self esteem. We have the King of Pentacles, prosperity, prosperia. Oh, why can't I say it now? Generous, successful. Okay. If it's not you, we'll figure that out. Can be a Virgo, Taurus, a Capricorn. Interesting, he's coming under the Chariot. Okay, well, let's keep going. We have the Page of Swords, truthful, analytical, outspoken. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, falling right under the Empress. That's beautiful. So, this may speak about starting something new, creating something new. And, in the Eight of Pentacles energy, it, it just means that you're willing to go into something, like The Apprentice, but knowing that if you focus on it, that one day you will call yourself the master teacher. I don't know if you'll use those exact words, but you will be the master teacher. And I love the energy of victory and success right under the magician. And I'm wondering if this king has a helping hand. We have the page. And so when I see a page, I think of a couple different things. First of all, a page to me is what's in the atmosphere. So this could be some type of communication. It could even be like some type of job offer. Or someone that, someone you already know. And I say that because a page can also be someone of a younger time. I like that it says truthful. So I feel like what's ever being communicated in this energy is of truth. And for some of you, it does feel like potential opportunity, or you're willing to take a chance in something. Well, on yourself, first and foremost. All right. I'm going to do 5 across. So let's see what's mirroring. 6 of Wands. It's like your spiritual team is whispering in your ear, and they're whispering epiphanies to you. And these epiphanies, you're able to take and truly create from them. Some of you, you're creating success for yourself, even if you're just beginning. That's okay. Some of you may have already started, and you may start to see the fruits of your labor. If you're not seeing them yet, I would say very soon. You know, we have an 8, which is about a new beginning. Look at this. Oh, there's something underneath him. We have the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. I'm saying that because we have 2 pages now. Page of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles. And then look at this, the King of Cups. Now, it's not a sword, but I do find that interesting. Hmm. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second because I feel like there's a few different messages here. First and foremost, I feel like this is talking about how you make your money, different ways that you can make money. Some of you, I feel like you may have gone to school for something and maybe it's been on the back burner. You know, maybe you're a single parent. So, you know, I've been busy doing this and doing that and taking care of my kids and working my full-time job and blah, blah, blah. Right? But maybe something lightens up that gives you an opportunity, you know, to start something new. Whatever the Empress is doing in the Eight of Pentacles, I already know she'll be successful. And, you know, when I see the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like I have to remind you also that this is the type of energy where you don't need to know everything to get started. I feel often this is the energy where you're learning as you go and you're growing as you go. But I feel like the wisdom, you already possess that. You know, maybe even a talent or talents. Like you already have them, but now they feel like they're coming to the forefront. It's also interesting how we have 2 kings here. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's figure out why. You know, when I felt like that chariot for some of you is like taking you home, well, one of these kings may reside there. And it doesn't have to literally mean like back home, like where you grew up. But I'm not going to leave that off the table for some. But it can be a change of location. We have the Eight of Wands, fast moving, speed, activity, multitasking, mirroring the chariot. You know, I often feel the Eight of Wands is also like the law of attraction. When I think about it, I bring about. We want to remember that our first card is the Magician. That is mirroring your spiritual team. So, this is the ability to manifest with no doubt. Like, I have no doubt. It's just what is it you want to manifest? You know, I would say think about the law of attraction, you know, because you want to be in the energy of that you want to receive back. You know, like picture yourself maybe in this new home, maybe in this new job, maybe you're working from home. It could be something new, and you just might love it. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords. Interesting. So we go from the Page of Swords to the Knight of Swords. It's like it's coming closer and closer. Intellectual, determined, motivated, motivated. I find that interesting that the page turns into the knight. So maybe what was in the atmosphere here is now manifesting. Keep going. Beautiful. The Nine of Cups, inner harmony, fulfillment of wishes, dreams, happiness, wishes, dreams, happiness. It makes me think that the Strength card, what you may have been looking at, I'm sure you've been looking at a few different things. I feel like you wanted to raise your vibration. Like I feel like you're really learning how energy works and how like you can manifest the type of life you want. I do feel like sometimes we have to let go of exactly how it shows. But look at this. This is you in truly a happy state. Some of you, I feel like it's the opportunity to work from home, and that is joyful. I know, I do it. But let's not forget, it also talks about a fulfillment of a wish, or actually wishes. So let's keep going. I can't think of what this, well, I guess it's a weed, what it's called. Hang it, why can't I think of it? But I remember as a kid, like always blowing on them. And even though she's an adult, I feel like it's like her inner child is coming out. She definitely feels like she's in a state of gratitude. Why'd you have to knock my whole spread apart? Okay. I really was not going to take um this many cards, but okay, there are reverse. Turn them around. We have the Five of Cups. Hmm. Well, we have a lot here. We have the World, the next chapter. Hello, lovers. Relationships, emotions, choices. That's the meaning of the card, really, is a head over heart decision. But look at the angel behind them. You always see the angel's influence over these lovers. So, yeah, it is a head over heart decision, but I often feel like the chemistry would have to be undeniable. Mm. Right next to the world, by the way. So, the world signifies the next chapter. Well, it's mirroring the magician, which really is the next chapter. Accomplishment, celebration, completion. We have the Three of Wands. Okay, well, that's what I've been talking about. Goals, expansion, visions. Usually you'll see a person standing at the dock and they see those ships. Here it's only one, but usually you'll see three ships that are coming in. It's interesting because this is making me, just as I'm looking at it through the monitor, I'm noticing these three wands, and I have a feeling these are like three major changes that happen in your life, but they feel like even if they were difficult, They feel like you're coming out the other side now. You're in a much more optimistic energy. You're believing in the unbelievable. I feel like, why can't it happen to you? Sitting right next to the lovers, and you have judgment, your spiritual team calling you to the present moment. So you're listening. You're listening. We have awakening. That's the hangman. And then we have the Seven of Swords. Interesting, weird place for that to come out. But, so the Seven of Swords, awareness, caution, consequences. That's interesting because when I saw Judgment, I was going to say this, but then I decided not to. But I forget what I was watching, where they literally were talking about judgment, not with Thoreau, but just how they said, like, with judgment, you're either going for a reward or punishment. Now, I don't feel punishment. I feel like, can I, if I'm going back, am I repeating something? You know what I mean? Like, will I have to go through all of that again? Or do I want to head towards the reward? Well, you have the energy of fulfillment of wishes right here. You have the lovers. I don't know if that's what you're wishing for. You have the ability to create true abundance for yourself. Some of you are already on your way. Some of you, I feel like if working from home was like important, or I say important, but let me say like it was a goal. You knew that it would bring you joy. Well, I feel like you're on that path. So, anyways, we're looking at the Seven of Swords, and the only thing you can really relate to at this moment is the Five of Cups to me. Disappointment, regret, forgiveness. So, if you look at the image, this woman is crying over spilt milk. Now, she probably has every reason to, but this is a five, and five asks for change. And it's in the same line as your spiritual team. So for some of you, it's like your spiritual team knows what you're going through. But yet, I guess what I want to say is just be careful or just be very honest with yourself and what it is that you truly want. We can want someone to come back, but why do we want them to come back? Is it because we're just feeling lonely? Do they deserve you? You know what I mean? Like, ask yourself these questions. Because in the Five of Cups, when this person is no longer focusing on what was, what went wrong, well, there's two cups. And that represents a soulmate to me. She doesn't know it because right now her focus is on what she has lost. It's interesting that it is mirroring the Knight of Cups over here. But then Seven of Swords tells me chances are, though I may think I want to manifest this back, do I really? Because Seven of Swords to me is untrustworthy energy. Literally, the thief in the night. That's what it's called. And it's mirroring your world, your next chapter. So really think about that. Other than that, it's your decision. Ace of Swords. I'm not going to take it, but just the way it was standing out there. All right, see it's on the bottom of the deck, another page. Page of Wands is probably your inner child. creative enthusiasm, motivated, love it, love it. I feel like if you've been going through any hard times, I want to say that they're going to end, but it's you. It's you that's going to help change the circumstances. It's your power. Like I feel like your spiritual team is reminding you of all this power that you have. You already possess it. It's interesting we get to Page again. Well, not again, but the Page of Wands. To me, that definitely feels like your inner child. But again, I feel like for some, it's a message about if you are in movement. I don't know. I feel like someone is moving like back to a place. Let's just put it that way. But if you're moving back to a place, it's because it's because you felt good there. All right. It's a lot of cards. I know. Um, let's do this. I want you to be able to see him better. One day, I will get equipment that can shoot overhead. It's interesting because I keep trying to save for it, but then something always comes up. You know how that goes. But I feel like when it's meant to happen, it'll happen. Okay. All right. Let's bring out the Gilded Tarot. See who some of these people are, first of all. Well, I mean, we're going to look at the whole spread, but I am curious. I have to say, I feel like the King Cups is someone who, I don't know, just makes me feel like, I don't know. I think what I want to say is, like, just be careful when you're in those lonely moments. Because in those lonely moments, sometimes we can pull back to us something that's really not good for us anyway. I know that energy. Actually, I was having a very lonely moment. And actually, I had just left someone 2 weeks before that I was with for 25 years. And as a Virgo, very seldom, and you also, because you love freedom, but we can have those moments. And I picked up the phone and I was going to invite him over. And at that moment, my call waiting came in, and it was my first love from 40 years ago. So you just never know what's going to happen. And the only reason I tell that story so much is because it's something that I did not expect at all. Wasn't even something I was asking for. But we now live together. It wasn't instant, but once we started communication, it never stopped. Okay. And by the way, interesting, where did I move? I moved back home. Sam lives in my hometown. So I am now back home. Interesting. I feel like our spiritual team uses my experiences all the time. But that's kind of what the Empress, that's what she's good at. Like helping others to overcome things that she herself has overcome. Okay. We have the Nine of Wands, reflection. We have the Four of Pentacles. Hmm. There again, we have the energy of a home. We have the Emperor and we have the Empress. Look at that. Look how closely they're connected. And then we have the Six of Wands right over the Eight of Pentacles. So, anyone who's starting something new, and it doesn't even have to be brand new, but you took a chance with something, you felt it. Or do I feel like, number one, it's telling you the victory, the success you will have. But do I also think the Emperor and the Empress are the lovers? I do. They are my power couple. When. Now, listen, the Emperor can certainly be a business owner, can certainly be a job offer. It is the father figure. Yet, I'm not really feeling like, I'm not really feeling him right now as a father figure. Um, they both, the Emperor and the Empress, have like ultimately the same goals in mind. They may go about it differently. The Emperor is much more methodical, where the Empress like takes those epiphanies and puts them into action, where the Emperor might make some plans first. You know, neither is wrong. Hmm. I feel like some of you're going to receive some type of communication. It feels like it's coming from this Emperor. So let's go back 1 second and let's talk about the Nine of Wands real quick. Nine of Wands really wants you to reflect back in the last 9 years and ask yourself, how have I grown in the last 9 years? What are the things that I've overcome? What's made me stronger than I've ever been? It doesn't mean all areas of your life are going great, but it feels like something is turning you around where you're in a much more optimistic type energy, probably than, I don't know, I feel like than ever before. Like, I feel this freedom to create. It doesn't feel like there's any blocks in front of that. So let's just say money wise, it looks very, very, very good. But not just money. Like, even in the Nine of Cups, it tells me that this brings you inner harmony. Listen, Sagittarius, you are freedom seekers. And it doesn't mean you want to be alone. It means that you want to be able to take care of yourself. I don't see you like being happy to ask anyone for anything. It's like, I want to be the one. Sometimes you do need to be able to take a little help. But anyways, that Nine of Wands is really about, you know, without those experiences, you would not be the person you are today. And it is about then letting it go, right? Just extract the wisdom of your lessons and let the rest go. Like, just be open. Be open to universal energy and watch how they surprise you. It's already surprising me. Though I had a feeling this reading was going to be really good. I just felt it. Hello, soulmates. First of all, look at them, eye to eye. The recognition of each other's soul. Like, I know your soul. I know your soul. This is definitely two people in the same vibrational energy. Beautiful. Remember in the Five of Cups, where she's focusing on what she's lost, but there's two cups behind her she really doesn't know about yet, Well, hello. Now they're right above her. Some of you have had some hard lessons in love, but I feel like, if I've had hard lessons in love, one of the things I've learned is what I don't want. Even if I had those weak moments. Listen, I told my story because I have a feeling if you find yourself there, I feel like your spiritual team will somehow intervene, just like they did with me. Almost like they were saying, no, 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 my dear, that is over. We have your future on the phone. All right. We have the Knight of Wands. Fast moving energy. Four of Wands. Marriage card. Commitment with the lovers right underneath it. Over the Eight of Wands. Wow. Two fours, 44. Could speak about two different people's foundation. And both feeling pretty solid. I'm not going to say completely unshakable, but I am feeling more and more solid. And if this is also speaking about any new love, even if it's old love, but not this love, because again, I feel like this love was not trustworthy anyway. Put you in really an emotional state of sadness. But you do have the ability to change that. Again, in the Five of Cups, you have no idea that these soulmates, which you are one of them, exist. But here it is. And do I love that it's connected to your spiritual team? I do. All right. We had the Queen of Wands, Queen of Action. Chances are that's you. We have the Page of Pentacles again. Over the Nine of Cups. And then we have, wow. Hello, Ten of Cups. Interesting. Here I am crying over spilt milk, crying over what did not work out, and listen, there's probably some things I can learn in there. There's always something we can learn. That's probably why we're seeing the Page of Pentacles twice. First of all, this page may be the younger version of this king. I just have a feeling. But I also feel like this is talking about learning from your experiences. The Page of Pentacles is all about learning and growing and expanding. And then the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups mirroring the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Interesting. You have the soulmates right above the Ten of Cups. I just get this feeling where maybe I had hoped that I would have had the Ten of Cups with someone else. But in a way, I feel like your spiritual team is protecting you. It may not feel like it. You may feel more resistance. Like, why can't I have what I want? Well, it's not that you can't have what you want, but will it help you evolve? Will it help your soul evolve? Or is this more of just a human reaction? There's no way, or let me put it a different way. I feel like this Ten of Cups, I don't feel like it's happened yet. I feel like the possibility is definitely here. The potential is definitely here. But I do feel for some that, there may be someone that I need to get off my mind and open my mind up to the potential of, well, let's just say what the universe has in mind. We have you connected directly to the marriage card. They call it the marriage card. I feel, let's just say commitment, but true commitment. I feel like the Four of Wands is true love and real commitment that lasts or has the potential to last the rest of your lives. This is two people making a real commitment to each other. And you have the soulmates and you have the lovers. Some of you may be in a twin flame relationship. And it may not be going as planned. If you're in a twin flame relationship and it's not going as planned, don't think that you're not meant to fall in love, with a soulmate. I don't know. I probably shouldn't even brought that up. All right, we have the strength card again. Over the world. Double Leo on the board. It's mirroring the Seven of Swords. I feel like someone had me weak in the knees. Someone like, pulls at my heartstrings. But yet, at the same time, I feel like chances are they didn't produce, you know, happiness within yourself. Like, I don't feel like the happiness, maybe for a period of time, but I don't feel like it lasted. I feel like, I could have just fallen for someone and it may have happened quickly. And then the person reveals their true selves. This is why I always say it doesn't hurt to take it slow in love because people will always reveal to you who they are. We just have to listen. We got to trust our intuition. Look at this. All right, we have the King of Swords over the lovers, and then look at this. We have the lovers again over the Three of Wands. Okay, first thing I want to say is I have a feeling for a lot of you, this, let's just say for the, as for love, this feels like something that has not come together yet. And I say that because I can see the feminine's energy very clearly. But the masculine's energy is like still in, it's the essence of the masculine. Well, we have the feminine and the masculine right here. Three of Wands. I'm in the present moment. I'm trusting in divine. I'm doing my thing. Like I'm just going to do my thing and listen, if love comes, love comes. It's interesting because it's literally putting you not only in this marriage card or this commitment card, but also you as one of these lovers with the Emperor right above you. So, let's speak about the Emperor for a second. It is the card of Aries, but here's what I feel. To me, the Emperor is someone that I can look up to. The Emperor to me carries natural healing abilities. It doesn't mean they're always, you know, like all I talk about or all they talk about. Probably the opposite. But they're definitely someone who, it feels good to them to help, just to help others. This feels like someone who may have some degrees. I would say this person may be psychic. Again, doesn't mean I do that for a living, but I do feel that energy. But then I also feel then you would be, because I feel like there's some synchronicities between the two that really are great clues. The Emperor can also represent someone who's a little older than you, but I wouldn't even worry about that. I have a feeling that you're going to receive some type of communication. All right, well, let's keep going. All right, there's way too many. All right, Five of Cups over the Hangman, Seven of Cups over the Seven of Swords, and then the Nine of Swords. Okay, wow. I'm saying wow because, okay, I'm getting the theme here. For some of you, I feel like there is someone, someone who probably broke your heart, someone who has you in a sad state, let's say. Someone I feel like also kind of left you hanging on a hook because you're in a state of worry here. Why? Because you don't know what's happening in this relationship, so to speak. You don't know whether I feel like you do know, but maybe you're not telling yourself that because I feel like it's very clear. I don't know, it could be any clearer that person from the past, the one who knocked over those cups, that feels like it's meant to end. But that's because something new feels like it's ready to open up now in its divine timing, because we do have the Hangman, which is about a pause in the action, but it's telling us why the Five of Cups. So maybe as my focus is still on, well, again, someone, I don't know, they couldn't have treated you well. You know, Seven of Swords, if nothing else, to me, is someone who lies a lot, whether they're big lies or even small lies, it doesn't matter. I always like, I don't say it now, but I remember I told Sam one time, like, you know, try never to lie to me because once you lie to me, then it's very hard for me to believe you after that. And I really mean that. Even little white lies. But, anyways, I'm saying that because I feel like someone was doing that. And again, it's energy that I feel like, listen, let's say that there was an opportunity for that to come back together, would it produce any fruits? I don't think so. I think what it'll produce is more worry, is more angst, is more unknowing, right? It's almost like I don't even know where this person goes. Why do I want that? I don't think you do. But maybe you're just in that lonely state because I really don't feel like like on a soul's level, I don't feel like that's what your soul wants. So it feels pretty clear. I feel like, and us being in the year of the hermit, where we are truly meant to reflect and using our spiritual lens to reflect. then it's very hard not to be honest with oneself because in the hermit's energy, the hermit is seeking the light, the hermit is seeking the truth, and nothing else will do. You know, nothing else will do. So I just want to say, think about it. And then you make a decision. It's ultimately your free will decision. Your spirit guides can send in the most beautiful of loves, but if my mind is still turned back to someone else, it's going to be very hard for me to accept this in the beauty that it looks like. First of all, I feel like that's what the hangman is saying. Like it's almost like it doesn't come in. It can't come in because the two energies are opposites, right? One, you're in the energy of optimism and being thankful and being open to all the universe has in store for you. And the other energy is where I'm so focused on what was, what didn't go right, that's where I feel like the hangman's like, well, until you figure that out, let's just put a pause on the action. I don't know that it stops it, but I feel like it moves the timeline, let's just say. I'm going to be honest. Some of you may decide that you don't want to move on. And again, it is your choice. But what I would say to you is, are you going to be okay if you find yourself, let's say a year from now, right back in this worried energy where you can't trust someone? Are you going to be okay with that? And if the answer is no, then understand that your spiritual team is here to help you overcome what was. Hmm. Okay. I want to come up and look at this King of Pentacles. I just have a feeling he has a special role in your life here. So let's look at him. We also have the King of Swords down here, I just realized. Can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Gemini, double Leo. I'm sure there's other doubles. We have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups looking at the King of Pentacles. Now, I feel like you're the Queen of Cups. So, the Queen of Cups, first of all, psychic, right? Trusting her intuition. She's looking right at the King. She has this cup in her hand. High Priestess, your intuition. Okay. Okay, so I do feel like this King, and I'm saying king, but it can be a queen. Like just however it fits your story. But anyways, this is about listening to your intuition. It's like your intuition is guiding you to like a special place, to a special person. But it's not just you being guided, so are they. Hmm. Okay. So I kind of feel like the King of Pentacles and the Emperor are the same, but I want to look at the Emperor and the Empress. I mean, they have beautiful energy around them already. We have the Page of Cups And then the beautiful sun. Well, there's our masculine. First of all, the Page of Cups, I feel like it's your inner child. Some of you, I feel like you know who this king is. Some of you may be moving. And, like I picked up in the very beginning, and then bam, there's someone from your past. The sun illuminates everything. So, when the sun is out, there's nothing to fear. No shadows can hide when the sun is out. Anything done in the dark will come to the light. But I feel like it's more of a sense of allowing yourself to be in wonderment and excitement and butterfly, like allow those butterflies. Like the sun really tells you there's nothing to fear. This is coming in the light, of the light. And it makes sense with the Emperor and the Empress. The sun is very playful energy also. Well, so is the Page of Cups. And I do find it interesting, the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups. The Page of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. The Emperor and the Empress. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I am going to pick it up though. Um, Honestly, I don't feel like there's anything else I need to clarify. So instead, let's bring out the, well, clarifying love situations. Give them a shuffle. All right, we got one already. Tender attentions. With care and concern, approach gently, nurturing with soft, kind gestures. Hmm, kind of matches Mother Mary's message. Tenderness. But with that tenderness, she's saying that you're both gentle and powerful. You know, how beautiful when we learn that we can be gentle, that we can be loving. And that doesn't make us less powerful. It really makes us more powerful, But I also feel the sense of like, I'm just not going to be anyone's fool anymore. If someone is going to love me, then they're going to love me wholly and fully. Otherwise, hit the road, Jack. All right, flight plan. Sometimes things fall apart for better things to come. Wow. Sometimes things fall apart for better things to come. I feel like that is that's going to be the title of your reading. I feel like that's exactly what your spiritual team is trying to get across here. That sometimes things fall apart, but it is for better things to come. Amen. And I will accept it for you. All right, let's bring out the romance angels because love did come out into the picture. Matter of fact, with the Emperor and the Empress, I do feel like, let me just put it this way. I feel like if the Emperor and the Empress come together in love, then I feel like it's nearly an impossible bond to break. They are so like-minded. They're different, but very like-minded at the same time. They definitely have the same morals, and I feel like that's important. They're both very creative. I love the two of them collaborating together. You never know what can happen in this type of relationship. You know, you may just decide to collaborate together and start a business together. Like, for some reason, I'm picking up some of you may do a podcast, and maybe you're speaking of your journey. Did I shuffle? I don't know. Let's give him a shuffle. Let's give him a cut. All right. Part of me is like, what am I even looking at? I already see that we have soulmates and the lovers, the emperor and the empress, the 10 of cups, the marriage card, which is a true commitment, by the way. Even the 4 of Pentacles feels like strong foundations, like your foundation becoming stronger and stronger. Listen, the more that you look back in a way of just noticing and being proud of who you are today, it doesn't mean you're perfect. None of us are. But you've grown so much. You must have. I feel like the Emperor and the Empress are of a much, I'm not going to say an impossible vibration because I feel like we can all reach it. But these are people who are very truthful with themselves. Like, why hide the truth from myself? Anyway, what do we have? Free yourself, and the rest will follow. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. It's time to take back control of your life. One more shuffle. Well, we got quite a bit. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Interesting because we have the mother and father right here. Getting to know you, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I love this image because I feel like this man wants to win this woman over. But there's this little girl, right? It reminds me of the Empress, like the Empress being single, but she's got a little girl. And we come as a package deal. And I feel like the man knows this. Like this little girl's listening intently to everything this man is saying. His sword is down. To me, that means a sign of fairness, just, balanced. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. No need to push it. Literally, again, your spiritual team, it's like they're whispering in your ear. And what they're whispering in your ear is the remembrance of your power to manifest the type of life you want. But you have to be truthful with yourself. Like, what do I need to let go of? What is no longer serving me? What do I want my next 9 years to look like? You have the world. And how do I love that it's also mirrored by the magician? I feel like some of you are skipping ahead, but in a good way. You're ready. And then we have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I love this image because, first of all, she's got her wedding dress on. We have the marriage card. But I feel like this person she's speaking with, for some of you, could be like a father figure who's already crossed over. I'm saying that because we have a father figure here. Um, but I do feel like this person's in spirit. And I feel like they're helping to guide you. Some of you, I feel like nature may, like if you're feeling, let's say, anxiety, uncertainty, I feel like a good walk in nature. But I also feel like your spiritual team, it's like they're telling me to tell you that you can just speak anytime you want to them. They're always listening. They're always listening. Speak. Also, your angels. Your angels need your permission to intervene in your life. So if you feel like you need an angel's help, let's say you feel like you need protection, then call in Archangel Michael. And I'm just saying that because I feel like your spiritual, well, I don't feel like it. Your spiritual team is telling me that. Like, speak to us like we're right there because we are. We hear you and we're going to help you. And that's why, your spiritual team, like whispering in your ear. But some of you, I feel like nature is where you pick up a lot of signs. When you're one with nature, you're out just taking a walk. And also this is also about speaking to your loved ones who have crossed over. Like they all want to be involved. This is what I'm hearing. Like we all want to help you. So take advantage of that. And I don't mean, you know what I mean when I mean, like, don't take advantage of them, but take advantage of the guidance that they're offering. The guidance that they're offering will take your human action, your steps, but sometimes it's simply one step forward. Sometimes it's simply saying, this door is closed. And it perks up your spiritual team's ears. And they're like, okay, let's turn the hangman around now. She's had this awakening. They've had their awakening. Now let's show them what can really be. Wow. I knew this was going to be a good reading. And I mean good for you. Um, that sounds a little egotistical. I don't mean it that way. On a spiritual level, I felt it. I felt it before we began the reading. So I'm not surprised to see what we're seeing. I'm not surprised to see like the the vibration of the emperor and the empress. I'm not surprised to see the soulmates looking at each other's souls like soul recognition. Yes, someone may have promised the 10 of cups but did not deliver, probably delivered the opposite. But please don't think that means that's it for love. It is up to you. But can I just say that I feel like when we think about our own energy and what we're portraying, what we're putting out there, we think about our own vibration and we understand that the higher our vibration, well, the higher the vibration of what comes back to us. When we learn just that, I feel like miracles start happening. I say miracles, but they're well deserved. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because now I feel like I'm starting to preach and I do not want to preach. Um, but I feel like, there's certain messages your spiritual team definitely wanted you to hear. What a reading. I already knew it was going to be a good reading. Yes, there is some hardship, but nothing that you can't overcome, especially when you're working together with your spiritual team. There is nothing that you can't overcome, and there is nothing you cannot do. Know that power within you. All right, guys, I love you. I pray that this finds you with an open heart and open ears. And then it helps to guide you to what looks like a dream life, to be honest. Why can't it be for you? I used to think it wasn't for me, and then it was. Just like that. Just like that. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.